Hey everyone, thank you for joining me again in my humble abode, bringing you another video for keeping up appearances with the Sunday videos so far. This one's going to be very quick, very short, but there are some good news as well. I will be making more videos. I'm going to try and do a couple more extras more often, especially over the festive period. But for this video, it is an answer to the many people who commented on the previous video about the Christmas star potentially being the Garabandal Warning. So let me get straight to the point, a very definitive answer for them, for you, for everyone. And also today, thank you for helping me reach 4,000 subscribers. It could have been 4,000 a long time ago, however, I wasn't keeping up appearances as I am now. So thank you very much for the support. Thank you very much for your comments. Now let's get to the point. Okay, so the last video I did highlight about the Garabandal Warning, the Christmas star, Great Conjunction as it's known as. Today's recording is December 20th, 2020, here in cold, dark Scotland during the winter period. It's been a year of turmoil, as we know, and all of a sudden towards the end of the year, which happens to be the last day of fall apparently, tomorrow, the shortest day of the year, we're having the Great Conjunction of where Saturn and Jupiter are going to align and cross, and there's going to be a great beautiful big light apparently. Hasn't been seen by anyone alive, as the last one was several hundred years ago. I think most people, when they've spoken on a few different Facebook groups, including my own, which I first highlighted, Marine Apparitions. If you're not a member of Marine Apparitions, go to Facebook in the description below and click on the link and join the ever-growing group. Nearly 11,000, let's see if we can do it as quick as possible. Anyway, I think what's happened is most people saw the thumbnail on the news feed, which basically read, "Is the Christmas star the Garabandal Warning?" The answer is no. And if you recall what I said on that last video, here it is here. Where Saturn and Jupiter come together to give off a great light that they're calling the Christmas star. And the question is it the Garabandal Warning? Personally for me, in short, no, it's not. Sorry to disappoint. So there you have it, from the elephant's mouth, so to say, or is it the horse's mouth? Can't remember, take your pick. However, as it was said all along from the beginning, it is not, I repeat, the Christmas star, the Great Conjunction tomorrow, 21st of December 2020, is not the Garabandal Warning. Now some people ask me if it was. When you're running a Facebook group of almost 11,000 members, and then you're an admin of a couple other groups, and then you've got people, family, friends, and other people round about, even comments in YouTube, a lot of stuff adds up. And rather than just replying to every single person, try to do that YouTube editing once a week, never mind working full time, and everything else of day-to-day life coming to this busy festive period, the great idea was make a video, give an answer, job done. But I've caught myself out in the past when you see something that stands out in your newsfeed on Facebook, for example, and you share it or you make a comment, and then later on you regret it because people will say, "What are you talking about? Have you actually watched that video you shared? Or why have you given that answer? That doesn't fit with what the video was." I've been caught out with doing that in the past before, and you know what? I hold my hand up. It's ignorance. You can't share something unless you know what it is. But we're so quick, and it's a psychological thing probably, someone will know better than I do, that we just see something in a thumbnail, a question, a title, and boom, we have all the answer right there and then. So there is accountability there for me when I've done it, as there is for every single person. But in the positive note, all the comments literally did say no, no, no. So I know for a fact I've read the title of the thumbnail and answered it no. But if you watch the video, you actually agree with me, as you've already seen. It is not the Garabandal Warning. Now, to answer some people asking, because sometimes Garabandal for some reason still gets people confused. The things that we know, the main two things, is the illumination of conscience, where God is going to correct everyone's conscience. That is also known as the warning. It's the same thing. The warning is the illumination of conscience. Now, previously Conchita in the past did describe it as something like two stars coming together, giving off a lot of light. But it's not this Christmas conjunction. There's more details in that, and if you look at my previous Garabandal videos, that will probably pick up. One such video I did back in 2018 is this one here, and I get into more details. The template of that video will appear at the end of the video, so please keep watching, and at the very end you'll be able to click on the screen to take you to this video I am now speaking about. This was something I did myself after much reading and looking into things, and it's a lot of purpose of what Prophecy Prepper wants to do. I want to bring into context, simplify things, and maybe that last thumbnail didn't do that. I had no intention to make it sensationalism or do anything other than the fact to answer many people's questions in the one go. Some people have asked, why isn't it then? How do we know if it's not the warning? How do we know if it is the warning? There's very clear indicators if you read any decent book of Garabandal. The main one being She Went in Haste to the Mountain. There's another such book I got from the Garabandal Info Centre when I was in Garabandal this July. This one here. And again, if you go onto Facebook, you also have my Marian Apparitions page, and my fellow admin Glenn, who's in touch with Conchita, also posts a lot up in his own Facebook group. And I'm doing this from memory, but I'm sure it's the Message of Garabandal it's called. So the both of us are doing that part. He's all and fully Garabandal, whereas I bring in Fatima, Medjugorje, Akita and so forth, as you already know if you've watched my videos. Now back to the point, sorry to let it go on. It can't be the Garabandal warning. Why? Because if you look here at this picture of the slide, and if you look into reading anything, it comes down to these facts. Things have to happen first. There's going to be a brief and ugly war, which I've highlighted in previous videos. There is going to be a persecution of the church known as the tribulation, and many things at once are going to come so bad, even the rise of communism again. Now with these things all in place, something happens that makes the Pope go to Moscow. That is a very big key indicator. The Pope goes to Moscow, and shortly after his return from Moscow, things get worse. And at some point, we don't know when, if it's a day, a week or a year, but after the return of the Pope to Moscow, there's going to be the great warning of Garabandal, the illumination of conscience, which is the warning. So these things, unless they happen within the next 24 hours or less, a sudden and brief war, a persecution of the church, a great tribulation, and we have the fact that the Pope goes to Moscow and then returns for things to get worse, all along with the rise of communism in place. These are the key bullet points that have to happen. So no, tomorrow none of that is all going to be in place all of a sudden. And that's why I'm 99% positive it won't happen. Why is that 1% there? It's just something in the gut. But that's just me. I'm 100% saying that it's not. I'm just joking. But the reason, yeah, you see these things, and the reason I'm probably saying the 99%, I should probably make that clear. There has been times where you get caught up in wondering as well, because how often do we misinterpret prophecies? How often do we misinterpret anything? And that's why rereading and keeping to good sources, such as on the Facebook groups, like Michael and Garabandal, who I did the previous video with, and also like Glenn that I've mentioned from the Facebook group, you have to kind of look over things again just to keep yourself in tie, you know. And yeah, for the record, I don't believe it's the Garabandal warning because of the factors already mentioned. The brief and bloody war, the Pope going to Moscow is the biggest key indicator, to be honest with you. Now, What's standing out to me, and I want to do a video on this directly, is if you look out throughout this year, I believe 2020 has been the year the world has been put on notice. And as the Lord says in the Bible, you see the clouds and you know the storms coming, the change of weathers, but yet you do not know the signs of the times. Now, signs of the times is a big buzz phrase, a big keyword search and things like that for anyone for many decades. But you look at the signs of 2020. I'm not just talking about the COVID, I'm not just talking about the lockdown, but when I saw the Pope walking up Vatican Hill alone at that special blessing he did at the lockdown, I forget the name so far, but he's walking up the city alone to the point he reaches that wooden cross. It reminds me of the Fatima vision. Now, it's not in complete context of the Fatima vision. The city half in ruins, the soldiers shooting the Pope, the many of the dead. None of that was obviously happened in lockdown. But there was just something to make you think, there's the man in white walking up the hill alone in Vatican Hill. And then the other thing as well is this rise in hatred towards the Catholic Church throughout the entire world this year of lockdown. Where's that went to all of a sudden? And then there are many more factors. Like I say, I'm keeping it for a video on its own where I'll have proper time to look down on it and study it properly. But what a way to finish off this year from hell than something like a precursor. That's another keyword I'm using a lot, is precursors. Something like two stars coming together. How many times have you looked up at the sky not knowing one thing or another, think, well, there's some stars out, but it's actually Jupiter and Saturn, and then Mars to your left. That is here in Scotland that way. I don't know what it is elsewhere. But it's like two stars coming together and it's going to give off light. It's not the Garabandal Warning, as I've already stated, but it makes you think the Garabandal Warning is a precursor. So many events that have happened is like a precursor. The church is being closed. The Anne Catherine Emmerich video I've done. That's why I always say to my viewers, don't just look at any Prophecy Prepper video. Go into the Marian Apparitions playlist on the homepage and watch them in order. You'll get the context. You'll get the education side, or at least from my point, bringing it all together. And more videos are now bringing it together in that context to narrow it down. But this year has been the year of precursors. It's been the year of signs for those who are aware of the Marian apparitions, those who are aware of certain prophecies of the saints and mystics pointing in context with the Marian apparitions. This really has been a year of signs and precursors and a little bit of hint to make sure you're in order, make sure your house is in order, your life's in order. And again, just saying that, I remember one of the other things that stood out early in the year. Conchita gave a word on the Marian Apparitions group via Glenn, and basically this was a chance during lockdown to really assess your life, to have an examination of conscience. What's important, what's not important, this fear of death coming with the virus, and now that you've got a chance of stillness, a chance to reflect and correct your conscience, I for one really grabbed that, and it really has been a blessing in disguise throughout this difficult year. Again, it's just a warm-up, a precursor, a hint, a sign. That's what I more or less feel in 2020 has been. But more on that coming up soon in the next time. But this was a real video, short as it is due to work commitments, the festival time of Christmas and that. It is busy, and I'm trying to keep up appearances with one video a week just for now. So I wanted to address everyone due to, it did go a lot, that video about the Garabandal Warning, the Christmas star, but no sensationalism, no fear. It's not the Garabandal Warning on the 21st of December. If it is, then God's in charge anyway, but 100% believe it's not. The Pope needs to be in Moscow and then return before things kick off. And then however else things are in place from war and tribulation and communism, there's still a lot, but again this year is given a hint. It's going back to that frog in the pot, which I've heard Father Goring say this week, as well as the nun, the mother, on another channel, I can't remember. But I'm like, I said that, I've been saying that now for weeks, and their recent videos are saying it. It's kind of like, it's good to know, great minds think alike. But please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. If someone is worried about this tomorrow, if someone's thinking it is, or there's a lot of different controversy, share this video with them just to let them know the clear points that have to be in place, because it's definitely not going to be the warning of Garabandal during this great conjunction. So stay tuned, upcoming videos are coming. I do have a little bit of holiday time now over the festive period. It's a time to take a breath, get better organised, bring you a lot more better content rather than just talking in front of the camera. As you've seen my previous videos, I like to be creative, I like the slideshows, I like images and things like that. But in order to keep up appearances, I'm just talking for now, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully before Christmas. Thanks guys.